Setting up and dialing in my focus assist is also one of the little tedious things that you will go through. Learning focus assist and learning how to understand and read it is something I think is really important. I think a lot of people just turn on focus assist, they see it peaking and they say, oh, it's sharp, and they go from there. I like to take focus assist and kind of study it a little bit more to make it so I have a latitude that I can pull from. So when I'm looking at an image, I know exactly where my focus assist lands. I have my focus assist dialed in. I use green. The reason I use green is I feel like red bleeds a little bit, and when you're staring at red all day, the red just kind of seeps, and you don't really feel red. Your eyes are really weird to red. I remember hearing as a little kid, they said if they put you in a room that was all red, it would drive you crazy because it's something that your mind goes through. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I picked green. Green for me, it's a stable color. The black and white and the green, it just peaks so nicely. When it's unread, and I'll show you red real quick, and look at the words everywhere. It almost feels like my whole screen has a little bit of red going through it. So when the peaking hits, it just feels like it's bleeding everywhere. But of course, that's just for me. So I like to keep it in green. Depending on where you are, if you're outside somewhere, there's tons of green. So trying to maintain and look at green becomes really hard, even if it's color and unread. It's red and green and everything we look at. So tuning in my eyes to read black and white also helps with the peaking, because I can feel when the green starts to come in, feel when it peaks, and then I can feel when I roll through it. You looking at it on a flat subject, you really don't get the same feel of what I'm going through, because since it's flat, you can kind of feel it kind of come in, but there's only one place where it peaks. So at that point, and I was pulling tape on my lenses earlier, that should be 9 feet. As I look, that's dead on 9 feet. So the balance there is great, but there's no latitude. I'm gonna call in Monette. Would you come in real quick? We're gonna have Monette sit in front of my chart. And what I'm gonna show you here, I'm gonna flip everything back to black and white. And what I wanna explain on the latitude is showing you how focus assist can actually help you and learn your latitude and where your focus lands. So when you're looking at your actor, actress, right now you can see it's still in the back peaking. The thing that you always have to pay attention to is from your nose to your eyes to your ears. Those are the 3 planes that I feel people look at for focus. So if it's on the tip of the nose, it kind of feels like it's in focus. When it's on your ears, kind of feels like it's in focus. If you have a latitude that helps you, and if you let your focus assist kind of bleed, so I can adjust my focus assist in telling it how sensitive I want it to be, and that's gonna also help with the latitude that I feel that we're getting. So right now it's at 11. Now if I take it to 16, look what I went to 20. Look what my monitor is doing. There's focus everywhere. If I go down to 7, can barely see it. So those numbers, what those numbers do for me, when I see 7 on my monitor, that means that my latitude has gone from, which was 20 to 7. So now I know what I'm carrying. So if I was to pull sharps to her eyes, gonna go, travel. There's her eyes right there. Now at a 7, I barely felt it peak. I felt it hit and I knew I was there. If I was doing talking heads or someone who wasn't really moving, that'd be perfect. But as we're dealing with actors and actresses who like to swerve around, Monette is perfectly still. I don't know how she's doing that, but look, there's the smile. We always talk about the smile. But for myself, I like to take my sensitivity to about 11. So what that's gonna do is that's gonna help me on the pull. So anytime I'm pulling, let's go back to our chart, watch our chart, blink, in and out, and then once I come back to our eyes, I can almost stop sooner than I would think, and that peaking right there is right on the edge of her hair. If I go turn the peaking off and I look at my screen, the focus is there. So the latitude is always gonna help you. With my peaking level, the sharpness level is what I also call it, because for me, it's not a peaking, it is a sharpness. So looking at her eyes, let's make sure her eyes are popping in there. There's her eyes popping. So this is peaking at 16, sharpness at 16. It's really too crunchy. It's gonna feel like everything is sharp. I am on a 135 at like a 2.8.5, so there's a little bit of depth of field in there, but it's way too much. As I did on the babysitter, I kept it at about a 7. 7 was a happy place for me because what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to feel the actors moving. So as much as Monette is not moving from the tip of her nose all the way to the back of her head, I can feel the sharpness. I can feel the sharpness go through her hair, but that's also because I'm staring at a closer monitor, engaging myself. Once I get into details and we see what we're doing, pinning on the shot, talking to my DP, knowing what we're doing, I will adjust. I will go from the sharpness peaking to focus assist. I might use peaking and focus assist, or I might use a pixel zoom in and focus assist. There's lots of options of what you can do. 135 with peaking in and focus assist. Mona, can you give me a little, conversation as you're blah, 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 You see, it's really tough just because of how she's moving. Of course, we're on a 135, but I can feel her the whole time of what she's doing, finding her eyes, drifting back and forth. It's a helpful tool if you dial it in to precision. Dialing in precision when it becomes your focus assist, when it becomes your peaking, when it becomes anything that you're looking at a present time, you have to dial it in for yourself. Everyone's eyes are different, and that's the part of also having fun. Once you get in here and you're dealing with your peaking and your focus assist, I have fun. So then it becomes a game for me of which I'm gonna use. Okay, looking at Monette, what do I wanna use today? Oh, let's go try peaking and I can play. Look, the second I put it on, her lips popped, her eyes popped, everything is there. And my eyes are dialed into that, so I already know once I turn off that peaking, she's sharp. So when they're in the back and they're looking at the monitor, even if I'm not off, and let's see, I'm gonna go a little deeper. Let's take it off her lips. And that's off her lips. Still looks great. These monitors are designed to help us with our job, our career. Dialing it in and getting it precise and testing is always something that we do. So for me, having a monitor that I can read and I can play with, and it's not too much, it's not too little, it's not a 17-inch monitor. For me, I feel when I'm looking at a 17-inch monitor, there's too many areas on the monitor for me to try to look and focus. When you're the AC, focus puller, you are telling the audience what they're gonna focus on.